Hey, Willie.
Hey Philly, how's it going?
It's going good. Do you know what time it is?
It is 5 o'clock on a Friday.
Time to crack some beers.
Ah, delicious.
All right.
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. Ooh, this is good, man. I'm drinking some Icicle Peak Seeker Unfiltered West Coast IPA, 6.9% alcohol, 50 IBU.
Interesting. Where's it? Do you know where the brewery is?
It is in Leavenworth, I believe. Leavenworth, Washington. Yep. And I tell you what, I don't think I've had a beer from these guys that I didn't like. They've all been epic.
Fantastic. I got a little bit of Surly action. So hometown brewery,
Dude.
mapping the multiverse.
I
a
love-
little hoppy IPA.
Dude, I love the can.
good.
Cool design. I would buy
Yeah.
that in the store. I found this one
Yeah,
at Costco.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Costco's always a great spot to get booze. Costco's actually a great spot to buy just about damn near everything. I have not had a single thing that has just been a real disappointment. Some of it's not the best. I've had better, but it's never a disappointment.
Man, they got samples back. Costco has samples again. We'll see.
Finally.
We'll see how long it lasts. I don't know. Still though,
God,
they
right?
seem like a lot of stuff. They send it in a little bag, but I remember getting like some beans. It's like some pork and beans, and they gave me a little cup. Oh, and I got some like little Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Oh, dude, and it was super good. I almost bought some. They were like came out to be like $2 a piece, but they were delicious. That'd be a good, easy
Yum.
lunch. Yeah, I love Philly cheesesteak.
That's a strategy that my folks have. Is they will go and they'll just go cruise around Costco and eat the snacks on weekend morning when they're out there. It's like perfect little brunch.
Definitely, definitely. I know it's enough
Buy
to
some
tide you
stuff in a
over.
week.
Heck yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. I rarely ever leave Costco without a $5 chicken though too, man. That's awesome that they still have them for $5.
Dude, this week I went to the store and there was one left, and I was standing there and I was like watching the gal behind the counter, and she reached in and pulled them out, and then there was like they were just like locusts descending, grabbing all the chickens that they just pulled out of the oven thing. Oven? Is it an oven? Rotisserie.
Yeah, rotisserie oven. Yeah.
There you go. They were descending like locusts to come and grab them, so I was able to fight someone off and get like a fresh one, which is like nirvana. You just gotta like grab it and just run home right away and eat it.
Dude, and I always try to get the biggest one I can, and when you do,
Biggest one.
dude, you're right. I mean, $5, like no matter if it's a small one or a big one. So, you got a bunch of kids. I don't know.
Oh, dude.
Probably not the healthiest one if it's like the biggest one, but that one got an extra dose of hormones. No, I don't. Steroids.
It's over there. It's over at the chicken farm, like lifting weights and just like
Yeah.
getting yoked and taking protein powder.
That's right.
That's fantastic.
Getting jacked up.
That's right. Did your like kitchen area close for a while? Like at the, you know what I mean, like the food court? Did yours close?
I don't remember. I know that now all they have is cheese and pepperoni pizza.
Weird.
Disappointment. Like they have no more vegetables in our Costco food court. It's like
You know what? I don't think ours does either.
it's weird. But I think it's something with extra liability or something. I don't know. I don't question the Costco. I just go with it.
Tell you what, dude, that $1.50 hot dog or whatever it is they have, that's at lunch.
It's been a while since I've had one. Been a while.
Yeah, it's, you leave and it's kind of like, feeling good. Yeah.
Dude, when I'm after a cheap lunch, like
Yes.
Burger King, dude, like right now they've got like a bacon cheeseburger for $1. Or if I really want like fries and a drink, Wendy's has like some $5 biggie bag, double bacon cheeseburger, 4 chicken nuggets, some fries, a drink, and then I've got like this keychain that I get a free Frosty every time I go through, no matter if I just buy like one thing. It was $2. It's like a $2 purchase, just a little
Really?
guy, but no, dude, I'm an ice cream addict, so I've definitely got my $2 in ice cream. Where
Okay, so you got the Wendy's one. What's your ice cream spot? Where do you go? I
the
already have an answer for
grocery
this.
store, the
Really?
grocery
Okay.
store, because I can buy a giant bucket for $5, dude. And here's what I've been doing. I got vanilla. I got a big old bucket of vanilla for like $5.50.
Big old pails.
And what I do is I dig out like a bowl. I eat like myself a bowl, and then I pour root beer, and then like kind of
Into
mix
it.
it up around in there, and it turns into like a slurry, and just eat it right out of the gallon thing. Then once I eat all the root beer out, sometimes I'll put it away. Sometimes I'll just pour more root beer in there, and so good. You have to try it.
Fantastic.
You ever done that before?
What,
Have you ever poured soda into your carton and just like eat it right out of the carton, like a root
Dude,
beer
I'm
float
way
style?
too compulsive to be able to do that. Like it's got to be, the environment has to be controlled. I feel like I'd be tainting the rest of the ice cream with pouring it in there.
It's
But
your
I see it.
duty.
I see the
It's your
vision.
duty to eat it all out. You can't taint it. You gotta eat it. Like it's a commitment, you know. Like, no, I'm not stopping. This is not going away till I eat all the root beer out of there.
Can't do it. That's fantastic. Okay, so what about like stores? If you're gonna buy ice cream out, is it Wendy's your spot then? Because you got the hookup. You buy like a little $1 something, and then you get your.
You know, gosh, I tell you what, it almost pains me to buy like ice cream out
Yeah.
anywhere. Because even like we've taken the kids to Baskin Robbins for like
Yep.
Dollar Scoop Tuesday, and it always ends up being like $4 a piece or something. Like, what happened to Dollar
Always.
Scoop Tuesday? It's like,
Yeah,
wow, we just spent
exactly.
$20, and I could have bought a carton at the store for $3.49. You know, something awesome. We all would have got the same flavor, but it's worth it. I don't know.
I can definitely see that. And so part of it for me is like, because I can't like control myself. I just like, if I buy like a little snack size over at Dairy Queen, then I can go and it's like, okay, I had my thing and now I'm not gonna like
So that's
get the
your
munchies
spot?
in the middle of the night.
That's your spot?
Dairy Queen's my spot. Oh yeah, all about the DQ.
You know,
Yeah.
I tell you what, we have one in the valley, and it is always has a line of like 12 cars. So it's
Amazing.
like
Dude.
$20. I know. Like, how hasn't someone not opened up another one?
Oh,
You know, it's like
I know.
cash cow waiting to be milked. Waiting to,
It's so true.
right.
Exactly.
The horse.
It's-
I'd milk him, but he's a boy, so.
Is that the same hat he had last time? He had a cowboy hat on last time.
Nah, I think he had a snapback on last time. He's
Oh,
matching me
okay.
with the camo though today.
Gotcha.
Camo. Now you see me, now you don't. You know? No, I don't.
Where'd Phil go?
Whoa! Hey, here I am. Hey.
Oh, there he is.
Whoa.
I got a question for you. So, love fishing. Have you done any fishing lately?
So Kelby, our mutual friend,
Uh-huh.
and I, well, he's my cousin,
Yes, sir.
did some catfishing last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get a single bite. We threw out some chicken livers, and
Gotcha.
yep.
Did you let him stink up?
No, we did a fresh chicken livers. We did fresh chicken livers. I know you got to let something stink up, but then I've heard too, like, oh, you don't want to catch the ones that are all stinky, you know. But I don't know if we're gonna be eating catfish. Maybe we'll, maybe we won't.
But
But
it
if
tastes
they're
delicious. I
Yeah.
love catfish.
Yeah,
Lemon
dude.
pepper catfish?
Oh, dude, I've had catfish too, like breaded and fried. Oh, so
Oh, yeah.
good. You can't go wrong. Deep fried catfish, yum.
I
so-
hate handling them. That's the thing that I fucking
Oh,
hate.
yeah.
Is like you grab them and they like hiss at you.
Not
like-
really.
Dude, they'll hiss at you, and I caught one little guy on a spoon. I was on a lake, caught him on a spoon, believe it or not.
Wow.
And I pulled him on board, and I hate catfish because I got finned real bad when I was little. But I brought him on board, and they got those weird, gross, like soft stomachs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're just like fucking
Like a yellow belly. It's just kind of soft
yellow
and
belly.
slimy.
Well, and the little ones, you go and like lip them like you do like a bass or something, and they just like bite onto your thumb. So it's like the big ones you can hold them up here, and they won't like do anything. But the little ones will try and bite you.
Weird.
They're all spicy.
I've heard the little ones are the most dangerous too because those spikes, like the stingers, are the sharpest. Where if it's a
Yes.
big
Big
like
fat one.
yeah, then you don't have to
Yeah.
worry. It's they're not that sharp.
Yeah.
But no, it's been forever since I've caught a catfish, so I
Yeah.
kind of have this urge that I need to do my duty and reel one
Yeah.
in. I think I'm gonna throw
You
out
do.
some worms too, like on the bottom, because man, what fish doesn't eat worms?
True.
Can
Dude, you catch
catch
everything on worms.
for sure,
Everything on night crawlers. Absolutely.
for sure.
What about so you have been catfishing. It's been a while since you caught a catfish?
Dude, I couldn't tell you the last time I caught a catfish, if I've caught a catfish of any size. I think when I was a kid, I pulled one out of Door Shack, but
Interesting. Okay.
yeah.
All right. What are you gonna pull them up on? Because that's the other big thing. Like the big catfish guys here have like these real special rods that are like super short, but they're just built like brick shit houses. They're super strong.
And that's what like the people do for sturgeon fishing here too. You know, it's like a 5.5 footer or something, but they're super tough. I don't know. I've got some poles. I got a yellow one and a blue one. I think one's a Fenwick.
The fish doesn't care.
I think one's a Fenwick and one's like a Starcaster or something. I don't know. But
I had my Fenwick that I had. I broke it in half. I caught a carp by accident, and we have a carp problem out here. And I caught a carp on it, and I went to go pull him up, and he just like planted in the weeds and wouldn't come out. So I was like, snapped right in half.
oh,
Never been that mad. It's the worst.
knock on wood. I think the only pole I think I've ever broken, I could be wrong, maybe I broke another one, but the only pole I ever broke was an ugly stick. And, right? I know, they're unbreakable, but here's how I broke it. I slammed it in a trunk on accident.
Oh!
So that'll do it. That's how you break an ugly stick. Because I've reefed on that thing many a times, getting stuck on the bottom and stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, I don't know if I'm just the biggest idiot, but I have cut my finger so many times, like going, oh, here, I'm just gonna pull on my line. I don't want to snap my pull, so I grab hold of the line and like try to give it one of these, and then I don't know, right in like the crease of your finger.
The crease of your finger.
Yeah, that's always where it just goes, and I look at it going like, ah.
It's like the worst combination of a paper cut and a rug burn at the same time.
Dude.
It's terrible. Yeah, dude, that's the worst. You just gave me chills, man.
I've done it probably 2 times this year already. I should know better. I've probably done it at least 5 times in my life. The other one, too, that I'll never do again, I lost my cool fly fishing one time. I was out there. I don't know. I was really hitting this perfect spot and, man, just like missed. I don't know, the 4 or 5 in a row in
and then
I ended up really, oh dude, yeah. It I ended up like letting out so much line and got it stuck, and I was just like pulling on my fly line. That was the rug burn worst like cut burn thing I've ever had, and I just thought like, I will never do that again. That was such a big mistake. I'm so thankful that I was out camping and I had like a 5th of Fireball. And it was probably, early in the morning too, but I went straight home. I went straight back to camp and just like grabbed my Fireball and just like took like a good 5 chugs off that and like,
we'll be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Now my mouth hurts worse than my finger does.
I took my mind off of fishing.
Yeah,
I'm okay. Thank the Lord. I will never go fishing again without a 5th of something. No, it's not true. I've gone fishing plenty of times and.
Alcohol and fishing go together like, I don't know, apple pie in America. I don't know what they go like, but it's just
like barbecuing and drinking beer. Is it really grilling? Is it really barbecuing if you don't have a beer in your hand?
Absolutely not. It is not.
I think you're right. It's just something feels a little bit righter, because like, oh, there's a fire.
Agreed.
Here we go. Psst. Oh, fire is out. Good aroma. Wait, trap it in there. Trap it in the moisture. Perfect. Yeah, that was better. That adds to the experience. The universe knew that's what this needed.
That's what it needed. That's right. We know instinctively.
So
you're a big griller.
Right? Oh, I love to barbecue. Yep, grill, barbecue.
Okay, so what kind of grill, first of all? And
a free one. Propane.
The best kind.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I used to only do charcoal briquettes and soak wood chips. Yep. But I mean, someone's like, I'm hungry. Oh, hey, let's barbecue. Well, you better go out to eat right now, because by the time you come home and you're hungry again, the food will be ready.
Yes.
It takes a long time.
It's a process. Like that's the thing that does suck about charcoal.
But I swear, just the taste, the texture, like, and it's way different to cook on charcoal than it is propane. Completely different cooking styles. But I'm so like stuck to propane. Just fits my lifestyle. Crank it on. Okay, 5 minutes. I'm gonna go slap some steaks on. Wait first. Okay, ready to go. Sometimes I'll throw a little, olive oil on a paper towel and rub it on there, or something, and call it good.
Yeah. Have you ever done the like soaked wood chips with that? You can go and throw it in like a little tinfoil cup or something. I see some folks do that.
No, I'll do a tuna can with water or juice or something to give it like keep moisture in there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I really want to buy one of the smoking tubes. You can load it up with
Yes.
pellets, start it, and then just leave it like on the top rack, on the bottom, whatever. Gives a good smoke flavor.
Just introduces it.
It does, and it gives it the right amount, and I think it's a winner to really add that extra flavor, that extra smoke flavor. But at the same time, too, like I would love to just get like a puck of hard, like cherry wood or mesquite or something, and start toast it on one side, kind of let it smolder and smoke in there too. I think that'd be a good way to go.
Exactly.
I need to
think so.
experiment with that. I got a good thing going on in a busy life, and man, it's just
Totally,
like,
dude.
get it done, get it going. Okay, get back, cleaning up, kids in bed, wash, brush teeth, go potty, boom. Now I have an hour. I can either sacrifice my sleep for TV or go hop on, chat with my buddies, and play quick round of Counter-Strike Global
There you go.
Offensive. So I've been
CS:GO.
playing. Yeah, dude, I've been playing it lately. It's
Oh,
fun.
nice. That's your go-to jam. That's kind of your like
It's
go-to.
been my go-to jam for over 15 years. It's almost sickening to think I've been playing a game that long.
Yeah, dude. There's children that are now playing video games that are as old as that game is. That's crazy.
Yeah, it came out when I was like 7th grade or something. CS, like Counter-Strike 1.5,
Yeah.
1.6. I think there was I don't know, I'm sure there was a 1.0, but I remember like maybe 1.2, 1.3.
I don't know what it is about 1.6 that's really sticking out in my mind. Like that must have just been a really good patch.
I think so, and it must have lasted a while. But 1.6 is the first one that I thought of too, like CS:GO 1.6.
Yeah, I don't know. Because the funny thing is, it always
Or
shows
it
you on the
wasn't
splash
CS:GO.
screen when you're loading.
Ah.
It was just CS. It
Yeah.
was just Counter-Strike. It was Source, right? It was CSS.
So it was before Source, because Source was like a whole new game, and then
Yeah.
Global Offensive was like completely redone. But it wasn't a whole new game because it just had better graphics. I think it was some big change went on.
It's like an engine change or something.
Maybe it has been Source the entire time. I don't know. Hey, what's a foot long and slippery?
What's a foot long and slippery, Phil?
A slipper. I know, dumb joke. Super dumb, but
About a foot long.
no, it's like you put a foot in the slipper, so literally it's a foot long, not 12
okay,
inches.
all right. It's a
but
all
a
right.
foot.
We're getting a little existential here.
Oh,
How long? Yeah, it's about the size of a foot. It's the size of the foot that goes into it.
Every
That's
time.
how long it is.
that's right. That's right.
That's fantastic.
Terrible joke. I got one more terrible joke. Why did the Oreo go to the dentist? He lost his filling. I don't know. Yeah.
Let's see. I don't have one. I don't have anything good. I need to prep more. That's what I need to do. And it's always like Thursday night, I'm like, I should really like prep something. And I actually wrote some stuff down, but I lost my notes. Like midweek, I was actually thinking about it this week, and I lost my notes at some point. So
Don't you have a couple go-to jokes that you always have like ready on standby?
I don't.
No?
I'm just more of a riff guy. I
Oh,
like
God.
to be a little unexpected and kind of like pull it out of like left field and just like somebody says something, you make fun of them. I like that kind of stuff.
I tell you what,
Lovingly.
my go-to is my Timbuktu joke.
Timbuktu.
Yep, and I know that's
Do it.
I just
Throw it out.
you know what? The next time I will. I can't
All
right
right.
now. I don't want to right now, but I do. Crossed my mind, but I'm gonna save it for the next one. So
Okay, you're gonna practice.
everybody,
it.
hey, you want to hear a good joke? Tune in next time, and I promise you will be satisfied. So one thing, kind of a sidebar, you know, Will and I are a little new to this. I don't see our text thing. We're streaming on Twitch, and I don't see.
So I have on my other monitor, I have the stream up.
Perfect.
And I am not seeing anybody in there, but you know, we
right.
all start somewhere.
That's true. Hey, that's okay. Maybe
right.
Mr. Beast will pop in and donate like $5,000 toward our cause. Hey, look, it's a guy in his basement with a horse wearing a hat, and a cool guy with an awesome chair and a mic boom, and a guitar in the background. I have to do some jamming at some point.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, that thing's more an ornament at this point than it is an actual piece of musical equipment. But
my advice to you is learn chords, because that's the fastest way to progress that makes it fun and easy. Just like learning those chord progressions, those fingerings, and go from there. Because I tell you what, for years I learned it like, oh, okay, whoa, this one, oh, that, you know, reading tabs and like practicing tabs, which is cool, but it takes a lot of time to learn a song.
It does.
But then chords, you learn like 3 chords. Oh, this chord, that chord, this chord. Okay, cool. Oh, backwards, this chord, that chord, this chord. Now I know like 30 songs with 3 chords. You know, the
GCD. That's all you need.
That's right.
Maybe an E.
E.
The problem is
F.
the problem I have with tabs is like, it's like we need to do an A sharp minor. It's like, what the fuck is that? And it's always a problem. Always a problem. Because there's anything with barring, my fingers just aren't nimble enough. Or like the new thing that I'm running into is I'm like I can't like bend my finger around, and so it's like I'm like touching 2 strings at the same time.
Yeah.
That's just because I have fat fingers.
And I'm bad at curling my wrist to try to really get it to, and that's a good way to destroy yourself and destroy your, like, you want carpal tunnel? Curl your wrist. Make your fingers stretch. Make your fingers do the stretching. I'm no pro. I'm terrible, but
that is not true. I've heard you play guitar. You play beautifully, Phil.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. The only person I ever took lessons from, Mr. Quinn Davidson. Dude, he is a legend. I tell you what, he's the only person I ever took. I got lessons maybe for 6 months on the bass guitar. Slapping the bass, man. That's right. But man, super fun to play, like plucking and, you know, slamming. Oh man, love the bass.
Fantastic.
But
all the bass players I know are always the cool guys. It's always the lead guitarists that are like really like emotionally stunted human beings, but like bass players are just always fucking about a good time.
Makes sense. I don't know.
That's what I've found.
People are gonna be people, no matter.
People are gonna be, and that wasn't a judgment call. That was just an observation of my time around musicians. That's all. I work with a bassist now. He's pretty fucking cool. He used to be in like death metal bands when he was younger. I found some of his stuff on YouTube back in the day. It was jarring.
Pretty hardcore stuff, huh?
Pretty hardcore stuff, but he's cool as fuck, which goes into my whole bassist theory. So
rock on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is a question I always love talking about.
All right, I love it.
And I don't know if I've asked you this very, you know, not directly. Maybe we've beat around it a time or two, but okay, get on your tinfoil hat. Because what do you think about aliens?
What do I think about aliens?
Aliens.
I wanted to talk to you about this too, and I remember that was one of my notes that really stood out to me. So, aliens.
I want you to go first. Let's hear your thoughts.
Okay. Big picture, I think it's incredibly selfish of us to think that we are the only, because what? Okay, so Earth has the sun, right? The sun has what? How many planets are there in the solar system?
9,
right? It's there's some
I don't know if that includes
right.
Planet X or Nibiru. Maybe 10, 9 or 10 something. I couldn't name them. Maybe 9.
Several bodies of sufficient size to support life. We've got how many? These are more rhetorical. We have in our galaxy, Milky Way, like we have how many millions of stars? and they all have a certain number of planets circling around them.
Yep.
And then there's multiple galaxies in the universe. How unbelievably selfish of us is it to think that of all that space, we're the only living creatures? I'm just saying mathematically, it's got to be impossible. It has to be. There has to be intelligent life somewhere else. That's my overarching thought. Now you go.
So yeah, and like with that relationship toward a sun or a different star, they call that the
Yes.
Goldilocks period. And life is so precious that it can only exist in this Goldilocks period. However, dude, I came across something today that was discovered in 1986, before I was born. 1986 is like this cave in Romania. It was like the Movile cave. That's probably wrong. But anyways, the only entrance that they found, like they literally dug through this rock, found an entrance to this huge cave that actually had plants and animals that are all trapped and completely
Inside of it.
encased in this rock. But it goes on, it stretches on for miles, and multiple people have, I don't know, bring it up on your other monitor, dude. You'll pop up some Romanian cave. But they discovered like 30 species that were not found anywhere else in the world. And I was just so blown away. And a lot of these were living, like the CO2 environment was like, it was like 100 times more CO2 than existed on the surface. So all these creatures were so adaptive to their environment, but it still flourished. And they said that this cave like had not been opened or whatever. They dated the rock like 5 million years or 4 million years. I don't know how they came up with that number, but literally encased in this cave. And then too, like it was like this some sulfuric acid pool inside that other creatures were. But I remember even watching on the Discovery Channel, and it was like discovered in 2018 or 2019. These people were drilling this well down and hit a pocket of hydrochloric acid.
Oh yeah.
And it was like
bad day.
And well, they hit this pocket of hydrochloric acid. It was like 6 cubic feet or something, and there was like this scum on top. And they discovered like 20 new organisms living in this pocket of hydrochloric acid. And I'm like, I'm just completely blown away.
Yeah.
One was an extremophile, and it was like another single-celled organism. It's just, I don't know, crazy thing about. I don't know how we stretched there from. Okay, so the Goldilocks period. Back to the
Goldilocks.
aliens.
And so I think where you were going with that is that like
Things are adaptive, and even like on Mars, even on
right.
Jupiter, even on even if things aren't in that Goldilocks period, the ability to sustain life. Like I can't remember which planet it was.
Life
Jupiter. I think it was Jupiter.
That's
something.
How they should caveat that.
Recently, like even the it was something. One of the has ice caps. Some other planet that has like mile thick ice caps. They just discovered methane plumes coming out of it, so that shows that there's heat. There could totally be something living even in our own solar system that's living under a crust. I don't know, or even the moon. Maybe it has layers and tunnels and stuff. I know I've seen way too many videos on the internet that show things with shadows cruising around the moon.
UFOs, right? You're talking UFOs.
Yes, as well as so okay, here's a big question too. Like, we went to the moon in 1970. Why haven't we been back? I asked that to one of my military buddies who had security clearance at one point, and even he said, "Dude, I can legally tell you that we go back and forth all the time. Like, that's a fallacy." And I can legally tell you that there's misinformation campaigns that lead to that we don't go back and forth all the time. He's like, "But that is public information."
I believe that we could. I mean, everybody who's like, "Oh, the technology is too difficult or doesn't exist now." It's like, no, we did this when they were working on computers that didn't have a tenth the computing power
256
of your cell phone.
megabytes, and now China can download 316 terabytes per second. Good grief. Holy smokes. I saw some fake thing on TikTok. I don't think it was real, but it was talked about like some Japanese. I sent it to you, I think, about the Japanese something in Japan. It was there's like this robotics
Oh, no, it was in
robotics
China.
facility. I think it was Japan. This
Oh.
Japanese robotics facility was working on. They had 4 robots that they were trying to, for military use, and they disassembled like 3 out of the 4, and the 4th one uploaded to some orbiting satellite and killed 29 people in this lab. And it was like this AI that got too smart and literally kind of had a pretty big snafu. But
No,
I think it was BS though. I'm pretty sure that it was like BS. But I mean, I know for a fact that we've had AI create its own language and communicate with
that
each
was
other.
What I was gonna bring up.
And
where the Stanford experiment with
become
Facebook,
self-aware.
where they put 2 API or 2 AIs, pointed them at each other, and told them to communicate and find the most efficient method of communicating. And they had invented a completely new language by the time like the researchers went back to it. Like,
Wow.
they just kept optimizing and building and optimizing and building and optimizing and building until eventually it was like this just garbled that they were using to talk back and forth. And when they like deciphered it, it was a brand new language that had been invented by these 2 computers just like sending each other messages back and forth. It's crazy.
It is crazy. It's
It is
cool though,
crazy.
but man, I don't know. It's some interesting stuff.
I heard.
So back
I
to
heard
the
an
alien thing.
interesting-
I gotta
Yes.
back it up to the. I gotta reel it back
Yes.
to the
Bring it back.
interesting
No,
thing.
that's where I was going to go back to too, because I'm a big fan of the alien talk.
So
Yes.
my belief is that we've been visited many times, like by. I don't know about the races. I know there's a lot of theories of like different races of aliens. I've never seen an alien. I've seen UFOs before, and I'll tell you about one experience that I had. But I know I'm almost 100% sure that aliens exist. There's a slight doubt in my mind thinking like, well, I don't know, it could all be BS and it all could be manufactured. But I feel like I feel like too that like you said, it's impossible to think that as much space is out there. Mathematically impossible. The other thing is I'm a big believer in multi-dimensional theory, and I believe in higher like beings in higher dimensions. And I believe in like creatures in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th dimension. Maybe that could be God because okay, breaking this down real quick. So the 2nd dimension is an infinite amount of first dimensions. First dimension, a linear line. 2nd dimension, like a linear plane. Infinite amount of first dimensions. The 3rd dimension is an infinite amount of 2nd dimensions. It's an infinite amount of planes stacked on top of it. Like it goes on forever in that sense. The 4th dimension is an infinite amount of 3rd dimensions. That jump right there,
and then planar, and then now you're talking vertically, and then you're talking
the depth of that dimension.
It's 3 dimensions.
It's exponential, and it goes on exponentially like that. Mathematics proves like 11 dimensions or something like that mathematically even. But at the same time too, like why would it stop there? I think it would be infinitely and exponential, which is insane to think about. Because gosh, even in this 3rd dimension, think about the tiny bubble that we live in compared to the vastness of space. Even space as we know it, as people measure it, it's like, if you were to try to go from one end of the universe to the other, they say you travel at like light speed for it's like 300 million years or something like that, and that is just unfathomable. Like I can't even comprehend the vastness
of that amount of space.
And now think of infinite of dimensions of that space, like infinite amount, and that's just the 3rd dimension, or that's just the 4th dimension. I could be wrong, and that's I don't know.
No, not at all. So that's new to me. I'd never heard that theory before, but I had a weird thought. I was driving around the other day. Okay. Are you ever just out and about or cruising and then you imagine something terrible happening? Like I was just driving down the highway and I was imagining like, what would happen if my car just like a tire fell off and just I slammed into this?
Yes.
And then I flipped over and I caught on fire.
I think about that too. Or lose a tire and then I go and roll off and crash into this.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad I'm not insane, first of all. Second of all, what if that's something happening to another of your consciousnesses? Consciousnesses?
In a parallel universe or a mirrored universe?
In a parallel universe. And it's like this just isn't your...
Yeah, and we're picking up
your
on
reality.
it like for a different...
Yes,
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, that's
I was
possible.
literally thinking about that driving around the other day. I was like, I wonder what that
That's
is
a cool
about.
thought. That's a cool thought. I haven't had that
Yeah.
thought before. But okay,
But it's
so
like in a moment of immense stress, you just like zone in and like your consciousnesses form together or something. I don't know.
yeah, I think that there's got to be some connection there, you know, like with
Yeah.
like with parallel universes. It's a crazy thing to think about, though. But at the same
It
time,
is.
too, I try to kick those thoughts of bad things happening as fast as I can. I try to replace it with something good, because like, you know, the mind's a
Manifest
powerful thing.
positivity.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Totally. I agree with that completely.
Easier
I
said
try to be
than
positive
done.
in general.
Oh, we all,
no, it
our mind,
absolutely is.
our
dude.
mind always wants to wander, though,
Yes.
too, and
Yes.
I don't know, crazy stuff happens. So, too, like, I've been really okay. About to get real serious here, just for a second,
right.
because I think
Okay.
too, like, literally in the last like week or two, I feel like something's changing, or something has changed in the universe with consciousness. I don't know if it has to do with like some sort of Mandela effect, like 2012, the Large Hadron Collider and particle acceleration,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like that there's been another change of that magnitude that's happened lately. So
Describe it to me. Tell me what
I'm
you're.
going
Tell me what
to.
you're talking about.
And the
Tell me what you're
best,
feeling.
in
Okay.
the most easiest way I can describe it is like, and I don't know if it has to do with like me. I posted a video today of like how stupidly smoky it is. Our air index was like 285 this morning with how much smoke has been. The sky has been gray. There's I don't know. Life seems more like a simulation and less real. And I'm just
Yeah.
like kind of trapped in this computer program. Maybe this is heaven. Maybe
Like
this
you're
is
near
hell.
the fringes.
I don't, yeah, you know, possibly,
Interesting.
or I
Yeah.
sense something coming. I don't know, but it's really strong, and it has me just a little bit worried. But here's
Interesting.
something that's really changed that I can measure, and that is my mind's eye. I don't know if it's something that I've done to improve my mind's eye, like to open this veil, or not.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do Tai Chi, Qigong a lot, and
Yeah.
I'm very in tune with Qi and energy and like
Energy.
your body's life force energy. That's what Qi is. So this though is my mind's eye. So like in my mind's eye right now, it's like I'm looking at you, I'm talking to you, but I can
Yeah.
still picture this apple that's juicy. I can picture an invisible something biting in it, taking out a piece, and seeing every bit of pore and the juice oozing out of it, you know, like in that space.
Yeah.
I can picture a car. I can picture like myself. I can feel the bumper of this car as I'm pushing it up, like with this super strength. I don't know why, but I picture myself in like New York at that time, or some like big city. I don't know, just where I'm at in my mind.
Interesting.
So, but this clarity of my thoughts has drastically improved. And there's one exercise. So, Tony Robbins somehow popped up on my phone randomly. And he was talking about like when he wakes up, and it was like something to do with, oh yeah, I do. I take a couple of deep breaths. And then I sit calmly and I think of a really happy feeling. And then I try to step into that feeling, and I try to step into that moment, you know, and then I step into a moment. I think about a goal, and now I step into that moment and try to live that goal. You know, like I see myself there. It's positive manifestation. You know, like what, like kind of
No,
that
I'm
same
a-
sort. But at the same time
I'm a
too,
big
like I
fan of that,
remember,
yeah.
I remember like even to that clarity of that exercise that I did just for a hot second. I don't think that exercise gave me that clarity. It could have, but
Yeah.
I think something had happened before, and that was one of these realizing factors that I have this updated clarity. I don't know. I know things too, they say that harms your clarity, but I love beer and I drink beer almost every day.
I think beer is delicious. That's
it
the
is.
problem.
It
It's like
is.
it was. I recently took a turn on beer versus like liquor. I used to drink hard liquor a lot, and I don't get me wrong, I still enjoy some whiskey every now and then. But it's I kind of took a turn towards beer, and it's just because you can enjoy it over a longer period of time, and it doesn't feel like it's like politely. It's like letting in a guest as opposed to letting in like a robber. into your home. Does that make sense?
No, I
Like,
get that analogy, but I think if you mix
beer's like a
drinks,
friend
if you
that
mix
comes over.
if you mix drinks and kind of pace yourself in that
Yeah.
sense. But yeah, you're right. Like a beer, you know, I mean, I don't know. I've paced myself pretty well. I remember like back in high school and college where, man, my beer would last in my hand no longer than 5 minutes, but it's usually Keystone Light or Coors Light or Busch Light, something like that, something cheap and
Something cheap,
13.83
something
for a
plentiful.
30 bomb. That's right. Yeah, exactly.
Something you pick up wherever.
So
I like it.
to shift gears, what's I gotta tell you about my favorite. I want to hear what your favorite drinking game is, but like in the past, man, one of my favorite drinking games, we called it baseball. I don't know like what if there is a coin termed, but it's with a ping pong ball
I think I
and
played this.
played on like a beer pong table.
Yep.
But you have
But
a
then you go
can.
and
You have a can. Everyone has a can in front of them.
Okay.
So I try to throw the ping pong ball at the other person's can. If I hit their can and it goes ding and shoots off somewhere, they have to go grab it. While they're going to grab it and put it back on the table and say stop, I'm cracking my beer and I drink as fast as I can while they're scrambling for the ball. As soon as they get that ball, I have to stop drinking, and then I set my beer down. They get to throw it at my can. If they
Interesting.
knock my can onto the ground, I have to grab a brand new beer. But the goal of the game is you can kind of we protected our beer with the backs of our hands, not the front of your hand. You got to use the back of your hand to protect your beer, because you want to throw the ping pong ball at that person's can as hard as you can to knock it off. But your accuracy goes drastically down when you're throwing that ping pong ball hard. So you just have to like try to gently tap. You froze mid drink. Should I try to minimize this? Maybe you'll come back. Come back to me, Will. Where did you go? Oh, here we are. There, you're back. Anyways, now he's gone.
Oh my God! You got to be kidding me! I'm coming. Okay, so
I
what
can hear
happened?
you.
All right. Okay. You get a little peek into my life. Our internet has been dying at least once a day for the past week, and I haven't gotten Comcast to come out yet. But okay, so I just restarted.
He
So,
must.
but it's gonna go and you're not gonna have your accuracy, right?
You know, that's right. So you want to gently throw it, to make sure you hit the can. So you make sure and at least take a couple of drinks, because
Yes.
other than if you really bomb it and nail that can and it shoots off somewhere, you get a drink for a long time and down your beer. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a fun game though, but it gets you trashed really quick. But even if you're drinking light beer, no, it's fun though. So
That
hey,
is, and it's funny because normally drinking games are like you drink as a penalty, and that's one where you drink as a prize instead of a penalty. You know what I mean?
you got to win. The first person to drink their beer, wins the game.
Wins. We played a game called baseball, but it was like you threw it, so you had three or four cups set up, and then you in like a diamond. And then what you would do is, so depending on which cup it landed in, it was either like first, second, third, or like home run. And so then you go and so like each of your players would go and like you'd like advance bases depending on which cup you landed it in. And we kept just like making up rules, like it's like the team got to like field the ball, like so if they could like catch it, if it bounced off a cup, you were out. That was like a pop fly. You know what I mean?
I get you. Yeah.
We turned it into more of like yeah, I don't know. It was
How did you have a winner?
fun.
Whoever made the most home runs?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, whoever had the most runs. But you could like advance other runners if you were on third and then like somebody else got like a double, then they'd be on second or whatever. Where they got on third, then you go and you'd advance. And so you could like advance your other runners on the team and stuff. I don't know.
That's
silly.
cool. No, it sounds a little complex. Sounds like man, even cornhole. When I'm playing cornhole, I'm like, I'm too far gone. Yeah, I hope you're keeping track. You know. Oh wait, how many do I need to get?
Exactly.
But
That's exactly what it is.
for our game with the throwing the ping pong ball, the winner, once you're done with your beer, you drink it all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And then to win, you have to say like prove it or something like that, and say like, okay, I'm done. There's nothing left in this beer. You have to pour it onto your head, and if a single drop comes out of that can and lands on your head, you have to grab a new beer and start over fresh.
My fucking internet. I'm gonna kill somebody.
Won't do you any good. You're still gonna have you'll still have shitty.
Okay, I'm back.
You'll still have shitty internet.
Okay. Pour it on your head.
That's what we do. We literally I remember too, we'd try to suck out every drop. Shake it, but the other team holds the can over your head, and 1, 2, 3, and if a single drop comes out, you're grabbing a brand new beer, and then you start over fresh. Can hits the floor, new beer.
New beer.
Yep. So the drunker you get, and you're like, oh, something over there. Oh no, my can fell off, hit the ground. New beer. You know, it's like finish that one and then drink another one. Yeah, it's that's fine.
My favorite is slap cup. I think that's what it's called.
Flip cup?
No, it's slap cup. So what you do is you have two cups and they start on opposite ends of the table from each other, and then you bounce a ping pong ball into it, and then if you get it on the first try, you can send the cup wherever you want. Around the table. It's like two teams. But then if you go and if you get it on a second try, then it advances one to your right. So everybody's going counterclockwise. And so what it is if you bounce it and you advance and the other cup is next to you, you can reach over and slap their cup off the table. And then they have to go and take a shot or take a drink or whatever.
Gotcha. I think I've played that. Fun time. I think I have played that a time or two, but it's a long time ago.
That's my favorite drinking game. You got to have 8 people though to make it work. It's a good one though. Dude,
you ever played Moose?
I have not. What's that about?
That's another one of my favorites. You have an ice cube tray and a coffee cup. You set the coffee cup up and have the ice cube tray leaning against. Left is give, the right column's take. However many up from the bottom is how many you either give or take. So
interesting.
Bounce it on the left, okay, I give out 5. Oh, that landed 2 in the right side. Oh, I gotta take 2. When you miss, then you stop. Moose is the last column. So if someone puts it in the very last tray in the ice cube on the left or the right, last person go moose. You throw up your moose antlers. Last person to go moose has to drink the coffee cup, and the coffee cup is everybody pour a little bit of their drink in the coffee cup. If you make your quarter, if you bounce your quarter and it passes the ice cube tray and lands in the coffee cup, you got to drink the coffee cup. So yeah, it's a fun one though, because then if you're the one that makes the moose, then you get to make a rule. So that's the only time you get to make a rule too.
Oh, so it could be row 3 or whatever. Then it's everybody has to touch their nose or something like that.
That's interesting. That could be a rule.
What kind of rules do you normally play?
I was thinking don't say drink, drunk. Don't little green man. You got to take the little green man off your can before you take a drink. You have to hold your drink in your left hand. One I've done before is no eye contact with me. That's awkward. It's look away.
Everyone's
look away. Yeah, right. No, it's strange. Okay, oh, you looked at me. That's a drink. I don't know.
That is.
Don't say the F word. Don't say I.
God. I lose at those. Every time someone says don't say fuck, I am immediately just like, fuck this and fuck that. And they're like, that's 4 shots.
Yeah.
You're fucked.
What's your limit? How many shots like do you think you can take and still have a good time during, like, let's say, you know, if you're out drinking at a bar?
Okay, so if we go out,
How many shots can you have and still have a good time?
I would say 10.
Oh.
I could put my limit up. At 10.
Nice.
The problem is so have you ever had a black opal? Like,
Nope.
I think it's an Idaho drink. Or at least it's a
Black
Boise
Opal.
drink.
Interesting. No, I've never heard of it.
It's got a lot of like different liqueurs, but like it has Chambord and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's really tasty. Like it's a really tasty drink. So a friend of mine that I went to school with was we were just out one night hanging out, and she got me like 3 of these fucking things, and I was just like dick in the dirt, done.
Dang.
Fucking cooked.
And that's all you had was just 3 of those shots?
But it wasn't a shot though. It was like a cocktail that was made of just like it comprised of pure liquor.
So it's like a Long Island iced tea or something.
Yes, that's exactly what it's like.
Dude.
And they were so strong. Humpin' Hannah's in Boise.
Nice. Nice.
They have very good black opals.
Dude, I tell you what, I remember one time, so I used to be an Eagles member, like to an Eagles club or whatever. I remember one time like walking in there going like, hey, I've got $5, you know, like surprise me, get me drunk, you know, like, and I remember like the lady, I'm like, okay, Long Island coming up, you know, poured in a bunch of different stuff. And then when it came for the tea, it was like, you know, yeah, like, okay, there you go. And I remember drinking like that thing and being like so hammered. Like I was just walking home and I could barely make it home, thinking I just drank 16 ounces of hard liquor
Pure
with a couple
liquor.
ice cubes and a spit of iced tea. You know, she did the trick. She did the trick. She was awesome. She's a good singer
that's
too.
That's always the best.
Yeah.
Especially when you go to a bar, like when you build a rapport with like bartenders and they go and they give you, it's just like you ask for like a Jack and Coke, and it's just like Jack, and Coke. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so I got some sweet with my cocktail, I suppose. So
Gotta
those
love
are
it.
the best, dude.
It is, man. And usually if you treat them right, they'll treat you right.
It's
usually
true. Yeah,
the way
but you
it
got to
goes.
be a regular. Like if you go there more than once when they know your name, like or they recognize your face, it's like, oh yeah, how are you guys doing? It's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Dude, my sushi place knows me. Knows my face.
Your sushi place knows
so the lady, yeah. So best and only good sushi in the valley is this place. It's called Old Town Sushi. Old Town Sushi, and they shut down when like a red bento came to town. But dude, this Old Town Sushi, they make the best sushi. It is so good. It's a little expensive. If I go there with my buddy and we get sake and sushi and stuff, we always spend over $100. And it's you know, but I tell you what, it's you get what you pay for. It's delicious. It's amazing. I've never been dissatisfied with sushi. If I have
What's your sushi order?
I like to mix it up, but one of my favorite things is like this smoked or a spicy scallop roll. But man, I like tempura shrimp rolls, like a cooked roll. I like you know, kicking salmon rolls, you know, like spicy salmon rolls, smoked salmon rolls. I'll eat anything. I love tuna. I love, you know, yellowfin.
Salmon? Yeah, you said salmon.
Yellowfin tuna. Salmon's good, man. Smoked salmon of any kind. I usually stay away from
rolls,
eel.
or do you like the? I can't remember what it's called when it's just on the bed of rice. So it's like the little piece of fish on top of the
sashimi. That's sashimi.
Okay.
You know, and I don't get sashimi too often, but also they have like I've had other places do hand rolls, which is more like a cone and the seaweed's on the outside.
Interesting.
I've also had at this place Old Town, they do these sushi stacks, which is a bunch of stuff. It's just kind of stacked up in a pallet and you eat it with a fork, like stacked up in a, I don't know. It's super good though. And I love doing a like sweet and sour shrimp roll, or maybe it's like spicy, sweet and spicy shrimp. I don't know.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with shrimp. Can't go wrong with scallops.
Can't go wrong with shrimp.
Can't go wrong with, tuna or salmon. Oh man.
Tuna and salmon are my two. So sashimis, tuna and salmon. We've got a place out here that is all you can eat sushi. So for
Nice.
lunch it's like $15, which is
Whoa.
actually fantastic.
Dude,
Yeah, it's like
I could put
15
down a lot of
15 or 20
sushi
bucks.
for $15.
I can put down a lot of sushi for any price, and for $15, I will put down a lot of sushi. So they have a couple rolls. So the Philadelphia roll is good. That is
Oh
cream
yeah,
cheese.
I've had a Philly roll before.
They're good. My favorite is the dynamite roll, and so I think it's a shrimp tempura inside of a roll. Like they cut the shrimp tempura up and then they put it inside of the roll, and it is so fucking good, unbelievably good. I love it a lot.
Awesome. Oh man.
It's a good time, dude.
It is.
I will definitely go there.
Do you think you have any parasites from eating? Have you ever been to I remember, you ever been to a buddy's house and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna roll some sushi. I'm gonna slice up a little fish and."
I don't trust any of my fucking friends to go and roll sushi. Maybe you. You would be the person who would be like, all right, but I don't think you would. That's the thing, is I don't think you would. Any unscrupulous fucker I hang out with that's willing to roll sushi, I'm willing to not eat it.
The only time I've made my own sushi, the fish is cooked, and or I'll make, I don't know, California roll or something like that, imitation crab,
Yeah.
But I've been to my mom's cousin. I call him my skunkle. My skunkle David. He's from New York. He's a super eccentric guy. But I remember one time he's like, "No, we're going to the fish market," and we went to Pike's Place, and he didn't like what he saw, so we went to this Oriental market, and haggled a price with some fish and brought home some fish and just literally filleted it, started cutting it up and rolling some sushi with it. And we had fresh sushi with this raw fish, and I tell you what, it was really good. I remember, and remember too, he got some salmon and seared it on one side. Did some seared salmon.
Yeah.
Barely touched the frying pan for a minute, maybe.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, I've eaten medium rare bear, dude. I'm thinking I probably have some
That's
parasites.
sketchy.
I probably have some parasites. But at the
Yeah.
same time too, I feel like if I had trichinosis, I would know if I had trichinosis or not.
That's what I was gonna say. Is
But
I've never had bear.
I'm sure I've got some worms or parasites of some sort, in my stomach.
Wouldn't you know though? They always make an appearance. They don't just hang out in your body. They always end up overflowing out of some organ somewhere. You know what I mean? They either you poop and they come out there, or they go and you see them under or in your eyes and creepy shit
Oh
like
god,
that.
that
I've
would be
seen that show on
so
Discovery Channel.
terrifying. I know. If I had something in my eye, I am a baby when it comes to my eyes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
use eye wash probably twice or 3 times a week at least.
Really?
I got something in my eye. Eye wash. Here we go. Okay. Okay, better. I don't know if I could do contacts, but
I couldn't do it. No, I've got floaters as it is, and I just I can't. Yeah, it creeps me out.
I've got floaters too, dude. My right eye,
Yep.
I bought this pistol out of a newspaper, a Jennings J22 little pistol for $80 out of this newspaper. And I remember sweet, it was a little, it's got a slide. It's like a little Glock style, little tiny pistol. I went and I tried it out. Pop, pop, pop. Something blew back and hit me in the eye. And I was like, oh, and my eye watered for 2 weeks, just poured
Really?
water for the first week was terrible. And then after the first week, it kind of started going down from there. But I was broke at the time and didn't go to the eye doctor and just fuck it, roll the dice. One of my
Let's see what
coworkers, this older guy, goes, "Oh shit, dude, your gun might be shaving bullets. Fold a piece of paper in half, kind of hold it behind it, and and hold that piece of paper and fire your gun a couple of times, and then look at the paper. If you have lead shavings, it's shaving bullets when it's jacking in a chamber. You probably got hit with a lead shaving." So I do that, and I fire 6 shots. And there's 8 shavings sticking through the paper. So I'm like, well, I probably have a lead shaving in my eye, like blown back, and that sucks. And if obviously if it'll stick like through a piece of paper or go all the way through a piece of paper, definitely like went through my eye. And I've had my eye checked. I haven't had my eye checked for a long time, but this eye, like if I get a like 6 beers deep or something like that my vision goes so blurry. I don't know if that's diabetes. I don't know what that is. But if I'm like 6, and I don't like literally one eye will be better, and then one eye is just like I can't read what that says.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, like okay, yeah. What I don't know what that is. You know, terrifying. I'm so scared of losing my vision. I feel like
I am too.
I feel like it would be devastating and life changing. But I mean, you just roll with the flow, and you do what you can, and I don't know. I appreciate my vision. I'm so thankful to have vision in my eyes and 2 eyes that work. I made it to 32 years old, and I tell you what, even if I died today, I'd be thankful that I got to live every single day and got to enjoy all the experiences I've had, because I've lived a good life. You know, I mean, we all have trials and tribulations and trauma, and I've been shot with a .22 through the hip. Did I tell you that story?
I have not heard that story.
No.
I think I've heard about it just through the grapevine, but I don't know if I've heard it from you.
I'll have to show some pictures too. Like I could probably find some, but
I think I saw them when they hit our group chat, but that might be the extent of that I've like heard of it. So,
dude, and that was a terrible experience. I just got too comfortable, and I had 2 guns and like a gun in each hand. I chambered around and handed it to somebody because like the slide was too hard. I was handing it to my wife. It was a .22, and then I chambered around into my 9, and I was getting ready to shoot. And I've got eye protection, ear protection, and she had ear protection but no eye protection. And I said, no, go get some safety, like go get some eye protection. So I grabbed the gun by the barrel the gun, like I'm holding in my hand the barrel down at the ground, butt of the gun is facing down range, and I had already had a little bit of trouble like chambering around, and the slide was moving a little slow. I was like, it's a Ruger. Fire it a time or 2, it'll be a-okay, it'll warm up, and anyways, I look at it and I'm like, what the heck? It looks like maybe the slide's not in full battery, like all the way back with the hammer ready to fire. So I push on the back of the slide, like this little like slide type thing, and it popped. And me holding it in one hand, like it popped right out of my hand. So the butt of the gun, in the gun, one thing was when it spun up and when it popped, it went right through my hip, in and out. I got so lucky, and I was like, oh crap, like kind of brushing my hip, thinking, oh, that was a close one, man. It just grazed me, or something. And then I pulled my pants down and saw here, I'll show you. Pulled my pants down and saw this a little bit
higher there. There you go.
I don't know if you can even see it, I'm way too white, but anyways, went in there,
I see that,
came out here.
Oh my, you had it clean through and through.
Dude, it went like right through my hip. And I pulled my pants down and saw that first hole, and instantly was just
freaking out.
Like anxiety filled my body to the point where I could not think about anything. All I was doing was like, oh my fucking god, I just shot myself. Oh my god. Started putting everything back and like trying to just hurry back, and I told my wife, I was like, Megan, I just shot myself. And then she's like, are you kidding? And I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. We gotta go. And anyways, I'm frantically like putting my stuff away, and she calls her dad and he's like, Dad, Philip just shot himself. And she's like crying, and I say, no, I'm okay. And then me saying I'm okay like snapped me instantly out of this like
panic state.
This like shock. And I'm like, I'm okay. And I'm just like saying it a couple times, like, I'm okay. Like, why are you freaking out? And I take my time. I put everything away. I'm like taking pictures, like, oh shit, look what happened, and
The hillbilly kicks in.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Damn, I shot myself.
anyways, yeah, we go to minor care, and I get to minor care, like a walk-in clinic. The girl goes, "We close in 3 hours, and there's a 4-hour wait. Can I help you?" And I said, "Do I get to go to the front of the line if I shot myself?" And she goes, "Or if I have a gunshot wound?" And she goes, "Were you hunting?" And I said, "Does it matter?" And she goes, "Oh, we can't treat gunshot wound here." I said, "Okay."
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I was like, "Okay, see you later," and walked back out.
Jesus.
And then we went to the emergency room. I kind of walked in like, "Hey, is this going to be expensive?" And they're like, yeah. Anyways, so I did do the emergency room thing, and they have to, like, before anything, and they didn't even tell me this, is like, "Oh, we have to call a police officer." So, like, I had to,
for
like,
any gunshot, whatever.
had a police officer came in, and, like, I still had the firearm, and let him run the serial number on it. And I'm like, "I'm so sorry that I wasted your time for you to come down and deal with my dumb ass, for some stupid mistake." And I don't know, he ended up sharing a story too of, something that happened, like when he was getting his training, and how lucky I am, because 22s travel under your skin, and like, it's like, man, you're lucky to be alive. Yeah. But they literally gave me an x-ray, washed the outside of each of the holes, and tried to give me a tetanus shot. And I didn't end up getting a tetanus shot, because I had a reaction to a tetanus shot, like my last tetanus shot, so I was kind of nervous to get one. But anyways, they were like, "Oh, sent me out." I was like, "What? You're not going to put anything through it?" "Oh, no. Like, oh, like, shit, that was just a waste. I could have washed it on the outside too, That's all you're going to do. "Oh, we had x-ray to make sure it didn't hit a bone." I'm like, I could have told you it did not hit a bone.
If it hit a bone.
Yeah. And if it hits a bone, they say, like, I've looked up stories before, and they say too, if, like, you get hit in the bone with a bullet, like, if you get hit in the arm, it's like when you hold a metal bat and, like, hit a metal, like, post. Yeah, and hear that ting, like, that's that like that shock wave that you get through your body when you get hit by a bullet. Yeah, that'd be But anyways,
that is wow. That is,
I tell you what, though,
shocking.
It messed with my head too, like the whole PTSD thing. I always thought, like, oh, PTSD, like, what, everyone throws around that term, blah blah blah, but man, it really does mess with your brain. And I definitely had, like, a deeper understanding of even something my dumbass, and I can't compare it to, like, god dang, war heroes,
war or something like that. Yeah,
dude,
sure.
I could not imagine what that mentally would do to a person, or what it would mentally do to me. Like, it would definitely change me and really make me change how I thought about things. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's wild, man. I tell you what, do you have any close calls, Will? I've got a lot of close calls, but that was with the 20. We were talking, I don't know how we came across that story.
So the only close call was, down in Boise, the military area, people just drag shit out on the, like, military range and shoot. So we were out shooting. We had just, a couple 9s and some, small rifles, stuff like that. We were just out there plinking. Guys roll up in this great big bubba up F-250. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
They, like, 6 guys hop out the back, and they go and they pull a water heater. I think it was a water heater out the back of the truck, drop it, and maybe drive 20 yards, 30 yards away. And we're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, it's like, you just kind of keep an eye on everybody. Like, because, we know how we're handling guns. We don't know how they're handling guns.
Right.
We were just sitting out there, just kind of, like, watching them, just seeing what was going on. They pull out, like, an AK and an AR and start just, like, ripping rounds at this water heater. And we thought they were just plinking on it or whatever. And so we kind of go back to doing what we're doing. And it's like, boom. Like that. And then all the dudes hop in the truck and just take off. And we're just like, what the fuck was that? Water heater split in half. I have no idea if they had put, like, tannerite in it or something like that, or if it was just there was something in it that was they filled it with something. I have no idea.
Huh.
But like it went off like a fucking bomb, and like there was like shrapnel pieces like zinging, like the boom went off, and then it was like that little like pop sound when stuff's like flying
how
by.
how close were you to the water heater?
Less than 100 yards.
Dang.
So they put the water heater, so it was like our truck and then where we were shooting, and then their truck was maybe 20 or 30 yards away, and then the water heater was 20 or 30 yards past them.
Gotcha.
So it was less than 100 yards from us where we were shooting, and it was weird, dude. And it was no idea, recollection, and it's like what was going on, what they were up to, no
Dang.
explanation.
Did you have some shrapnel get pretty close?
I mean, if it's close enough to hear snaps, you know what I mean? Like you had like that little sound of like stuff
Cutting through the air
by.
Yeah.
Jeez. That was scary. Yeah, that was the closest.
Nothing hit the cars or anything though, right?
Nope, no injuries or problems, just more like a what the fuck, and then just like they just all piled in and took off at like high speed, and so it was like they probably like, oh shit, I didn't think it'd be that big.
Dang.
Yeah, there was one
crazy.
time at a range, some guy didn't think that there was anything in the gun, and he just like kind of was like closing the action. It was a striker fired gun, and so he like just like to go and just close it, and a round went off, and he like got scared and dropped the gun, and so like the range officer was like, "Do you mean to do that?" Just idiot got people that handle guns. Yeah, shooting ranges are probably more dangerous than being outside because it's a bunch of idiots that don't own guns shooting guns.
I've never shot at an indoor range, and even since like my little mishap, I've shot in guns since then, but not as much as I used to. I feel like I'm thankful that I still own firearms, but I don't know. I think it's definitely woke me up to be way more careful.
Yeah.
Because I think I just got a little too comfortable, and that's when bad things happen.
Well, especially with you wouldn't think that just getting the gun in battery would like discharge it, but like it's still a rimfire. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't take a whole lot of. I mean, you can hit it with a hammer and have it go off.
That's right. All right. Let's change directions again. Let's say,
yes, sir.
Have you ever been lost? Like, number one, have you ever been like lost in the woods? You ever been lost in the woods?
I have. When I was a kid,
or like by yourself, even lost in the woods.
Never by myself. I've never done, and never like deep woods. It's like so this was before GPS and all that. Like you think you're on a trail, and then you come back, and then it's like you take a turn or two, and it's like, this doesn't look super familiar. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of freak out, and then you like calm down, and it's like, okay, I was up there, and then I know that's that direction from that, and you kind of reason your way through it, but it's still kind of like, how about you?
When I was like 12 or 13, I went hunting with one of my mom's boyfriends, where we left at like 3 in the morning, and I fell asleep. Like we drove way out to middle of nowhere, no man's land. But we hiked, like we probably started at like just about daylight. Maybe it was 4:30 in the morning or something, or 5 o'clock in the morning, and took off. We probably hiked together for 3 or 4 miles, not super far, and then toward a lookout tower, but we were still like way out in the middle of the nowhere. But there is a lookout tower, and there was like this road that we came in on. Well, anyways, he said, I'm gonna go hike around a couple of ridges and work my way down. We'll meet at the pickup at dark, and like he's like,
what time did you start this? What time was this? Like,
we probably
make the plans to
6 o'clock in the morning. We probably hiked 2 hours or something like that to go like way up this ridge to where we were going. Maybe seven. This was a while ago. But anyways, he hiked around. He's like, okay, we'll meet at the pickup at dark. So I'm like 12 or 13 or something like this, and I He's like, hey, just stay close to the trail, you know, like this trail that we walked in on, and, you know, maybe bounce over a ridge or two or something, but come back to the trail. So as I was coming down, I bounced over like maybe an extra ridge or two, and he's way across on the far side of this mountain, and I'm working my way down from, you know, between him and the rig anyway. Well, I walked down a couple miles, and then I'm thinking, well, gosh, I've gone pretty far. You know, I'm gonna bounce over a ridge and hit the trail, and then I bounced over a ridge and I didn't see the trail, so I bounced over another one, bounced over another one, bounced over another one, and by that time I'm freaking out because I still haven't found the trail. So then I start cutting back the other way, and I cut back the other way a couple times, you know, and didn't see any trail, like thinking maybe I missed it or walked over it. So I cut back, you know, again to the middle. That panic that sets in, though, man, I'll never forget it. It's something else where
your nuts like tuck all the way up into your fucking throat.
All the way up. Yeah, I'm sure I'm sure even 13, you know, I'm 12, 13. I know I shedded some tears, you know, freaking out. I had my gun with me. I saw some, I think we're elk hunting, but I saw some deer get chased, and they were breathing really hard like they were running from something. Anyways, I remember too, like I shot a shot up in the air thinking like, God, I'm lost, and I want to, you know, hey, maybe someone will come, you know, or maybe this guy that I was with.
Yeah.
Anyways, thinking about it too, like this anxiety and that panic that sets in, if you would have thought logically, numbnuts, walk back up to the top where you were before and find this place at the top of the mountain, orient yourself, and walk back down the trail. And I'm so terrified thinking I'm going to miss him at dark and he's going to leave me out here, you know, and I'm not going to be there. So anyways,
that's terrifying, dude.
So I don't know what time I got lost, but it was probably by like 11 o'clock. And I was probably only lost for a couple hours. I was probably found by like 2 or 3, and it was by this guy's brother who was also hunting in that same area.
Really?
Yeah, and I remember him like just come around some corner like, what the fuck are you doing? And I was just like, oh, I'm so glad to see you, you know. I was just like, oh, he goes, well, did you get lost out here? And yeah. He's like, okay, well, I know where we are. I was like, okay, good. And
solved.
Yeah, we ended up making it back to the pickup, and he like kind of helped me make it back to the pickup at like by, I don't know, 5 o'clock or something. It was an all-day experience though, you know. And
yeah, dude. Oh fuck, I can't even imagine.
It was something.
That's like, and the thing is like wilderness in Idaho is different than wilderness in other places. Like it's different than like hiking in Minnesota or hiking on the East Coast, like, or hiking in California, like any place with people. Like you get lost the fuck out there and you are on your own unless you get lucky and bump into somebody else. Like you are there.
Right. For the longest time I wanted to do like since then when I got older, like 16, 17, well even 19, 20, I remember I wanted to do like a 30-day solo by myself just to mentally grow from that experience, you know, and know that I can just protect myself in the element.
Set in and then just like
conquer it,
make it comfortable.
Yep.
Because I figure like one experience like that where it's like, all right, I have to simmer in and just kind of let it happen and just wash over me, and then I'll be fine. I'll be fine at the end of the day. Like you have that realization and it's like, okay, I'm not going to be scared of this anymore because I know I can handle it.
Yeah. Right? The worst thing I think in the woods though is like ticks, but then number 2, wolves, number 3, mountain lions. I think after that, you know, I'm not really afraid of a moose. I know how to keep my distance. And then a grizzly bear, the odds of me seeing a grizzly bear are very
low.
Very low. But that would be a terrifying thing. If I came across a grizzly bear on my own, I don't know what I'd do.
I feel
aim at it and start and move, try to move away, try to get out of its way, and if it did turn, be ready to start plinking.
Yeah.
To save my life, you know.
I feel like I'd swap wolves and mountain lions. I feel like I'd swap those two on my list if I was putting a list together.
Yeah, because a mountain
Just
lion jumping
because
out of a tree on your back or something, you don't
you're
even know.
fucked.
Oh yeah, think about it. You know, it'd gut you with one like kick of its back leg, and oh, your
like,
guts are
I'm
out.
dead now.
You're dead. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
quick.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're too far away. Nothing will save you. Your guts are
Have you
dirty.
seen
They're
that? Yeah,
you know.
what are they gonna do? Put him back in? I hope they clean him
Get
off
him,
first.
get him up. Oh, load him back up. No, you're toast at that point.
Have you seen that video of that guy in Utah that was hiking and he bumped into him? He like bumped a mountain lion. He surprised it, and they think there was cubs nearby because the mountain lion was doing this thing where it was like, like, and he's like backing down the trail, just like whoa cat, and he's like throwing rocks and shit at it. It's a great video. Like if you haven't
Crazy.
seen it, it's like it's worth a watch, dude. No, but it's like you
Kinda-
realize
he's on a.
that
Is
that
he on
cat
a
was gonna
road?
fuck
Kind
him
of
up.
like a dirt
Yeah,
road
he's
or
on
a
like
rock road?
Yeah, like a something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I have seen that one before. I have seen that one before.
That's terrifying.
Well, man, we made it to like an hour 20, I think, today.
Hour 20.
Yep,
Look
I
at
just
that.
peeked at it. Well,
That's perfect.
hey,
dude.
that was a good time. Thanks for
That was a good
tuning in,
time.
everybody, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.